After the death of her parents, mute girl Rose was drugged by her uncle and sent to Jack's bed. Under pressure from public opinion, Jack had no choice but to marry Rose. She had tried to resist, but Jack only retaliated doubly on the bed. In this household, neither the family tutor Amy nor Jack's mother regarded Rose highly. In fact, Jack's mother hoped for a divorce between them, as she preferred Amy as her daughter-in-law. Jack, busy with social engagements, was oblivious to everything. All he wanted was to be with Rose in bed. In front of Rose, Amy deliberately fell into Jack's arms. Sensing his wife's emotions, Jack sat beside her with their son in his arms, intentionally asking Rose to feed him. The harmonious scene between the couple left Amy fuming. While walking with her son, Rose encountered a stranger who asked her about sign language. Seeing Rose chatting happily with another man made Jack insanely jealous. Rose's cold attitude toward him upon his arrival drove him even more crazy. During dinner, Jack tried to show his goodwill by serving Rose food, but she ignored him completely, leaving him too frustrated to eat. Rose thought Jack was being unreasonable, but Jack quickly softened his stance after the maid informed him that Rose was feeling unwell. To cheer her up, he told her that the dance he had choreographed had won an award and even fed her medicine himself. Jack's mother praised Amy for her contributions to Jack's career. In comparison, she looked down on Rose, who could not speak, and blamed her for the child refusing to eat, claiming she couldn't even take care of her son. Fortunately, Jack stepped in, asking his son what he had eaten before the meal. It turned out that Amy had given the child snacks, which spoiled his appetite. Jack sternly warned Amy to stay in her place. Noticing that Rose ate little at dinner, Jack took her to a hotel for a meal. Rose thought he simply wanted to dine with her, but after the meal, Jack almost devoured her in bed. When Rose expressed her reluctance to get pregnant again, Jack became furious, questioning whether she wanted a divorce. The two parted on bad terms. The stranger Rose had met earlier sent her a message, inviting her to join the development of an app designed for the deaf and mute. Jack noticed his wife had been happily chatting on her phone a lot lately. Frustrated that she wasn't paying attention to him, he took her phone, only to be met with Rose's cold glare. He felt wronged, thinking he had every right to be upset. Holding their son, he accused Rose of being unreasonable. Jack soon found the person Rose had been chatting with in her social media contacts and discovered it was his rival, Steve. Enraged, he hurled insults. Worse, Rose even went out to dinner with Steve. Jack and his son were left alone at home. When Rose returned, Jack questioned whether she had fallen for Steve. Rose replied that Steve helped her realize her life's value, unlike her husband, who only criticized her. Jack was left speechless. Amy invited Jack to her birthday party, but was shocked to find he wasn't there. Instead, she bragged to Rose about the earrings Jack had supposedly given her. Hearing this, Rose felt nauseous, suspecting she was pregnant again. When Jack learned about the day's events, he clarified to Rose that he hadn't given Amy the earrings and invited her to the party himself. Rose was surprised that Jack was explaining himself to her. At the party, Amy's friend deliberately asked Rose a series of questions, knowing she couldn't speak, hoping to embarrass her. Jack, however, firmly gripped the friend's hand with an icy warning to apologize to Rose and told Amy to control her friends. Jack's mother was furious to see her son bringing Rose to the party, as it publicly exposed her mute daughter-in-law. She scolded Rose, but Rose, fed up with her condescension, retorted in front of everyone. Jack pulled his mother aside and warned her sternly that no matter how much she disliked Rose, she was the only wife he would ever have. Upset by people's gossip, Rose broke into tears. Steve comforted her, lifting her spirits. But just then, Rose received a message from Jack. Their son was ill. Anxiously rushing home, she stepped out of Steve's car, only for Jack to sarcastically mock her. Steve rebuked Jack, saying that if he truly cared for Rose, he wouldn't speak to her so harshly. Jack, stung by these words, angrily told Steve to mind his own business. Drinking away his frustrations, Jack's friends advised him to get a divorce. Infuriated, Jack fought with them. Drunk, he mistook a rabbit for Rose and joyfully carried it home. Once home, he kissed Rose roughly, only to get bitten. He thought Rose wasn't like a rabbit at all, more like a little dog. Jack fired Amy, angering his mother, who demanded Rose divorce Jack. Rose said she would agree to a divorce, but the child had to stay with her. Jack overheard this and dragged Rose home, slamming the door on his way out. After hearing from the maid that Jack had fallen ill searching for her and that he'd fired Amy, Rose was touched. She gave Jack some cold medicine. Jack's anger turned to joy, and he invited Rose to travel to Spain, a longtime dream of hers. Rose was delighted, but an unexpected incident forced Jack to change his travel plans. Disappointed, Rose felt down. Steve took her to play claw machines, and a friend's photo of them was sent to Jack, who immediately called Rose. When she ignored him, Jack became furious, ordering his friend to dismantle all the claw machines and install them at his home. At the airport upon his return, Jack ran into his ex-fiancée, Mary, who asked him for a ride. Jack refused outright and rushed home to see Rose. Finding her happily playing with the claw machines, he couldn't help but tease her, but mentioning Steve caused tension between them again. Mary approached Rose, revealing that Jack had once proposed to her and claiming that if Rose hadn't drugged him, they would have been married with children by now. Rose, feeling guilty, confronted Jack and formally requested a divorce. Jack refused, suspecting it was because of Steve. He instructed the maid to monitor Rose's movements, vowing she couldn't escape him. When Steve uploaded Rose's sign language dance video online, it quickly went viral. He invited Rose to become the spokesperson for his app. Worried Jack would disapprove, Rose was surprised when he readily agreed, on the condition that she move back into his bedroom. Rose, feeling at ease, slept soundly and woke to see Jack playing with their son nearby, filling her with contentment. Jack took Rose and their son horseback riding, but Mary appeared again. A man defending Mary insulted Rose, prompting her to slap him. Furious, the man tried to retaliate but was stopped by Jack, who taught him a harsh lesson. Jack then gently lifted Rose and patiently taught her to ride a horse, leaving Mary seething with jealousy. In a desperate move, Mary pretended to fall off her horse, and Jack caught her, which annoyed Rose. Steve later sent Rose the beta version of the Death app, and she enjoyed using it. However, Jack grew displeased when the app repeatedly insulted him as a jerk. Embarrassed, Rose tried to sneak away but was caught by Jack, who kissed her and teasingly said, "This is what a real jerk is," deepening the kiss. When Rose saw Mary's invitation to Jack, her mood plummeted. But Jack reassured her that he had long moved on from Mary and only cared about Rose. Touched, Rose felt her heart race. At Mary's performance, Jack brought Rose along. Their intimacy drove Mary mad. She deliberately provoked Rose and staged a fall, accusing Rose of pushing her. Someone leaked the video of Mary's fall online, throwing Jack's company into a PR crisis. His mother used this to pressure Jack into divorcing Rose, but he stood by his wife, insisting she wasn't that kind of person. To clear her name, Rose tracked the video uploader and discovered it was one of Jack's friends. Before she could confront him, a landslide trapped them. Jack risked his life to save them both. Afterward, Jack told Rose he had uncovered the truth. While Rose was moved, Jack scolded her harshly, "Never go to such dangerous places alone again." Then he kissed her possessively. In the presence of friends, Jack proposed to Rose again, wanting to hold a grand wedding. Despite her worries that he might regret marrying a mute, Jack, having faced the possibility of losing her, was determined to never let her go. The two embraced lovingly, ready to start anew together.